I've got a long list of myths about foam gliders in front of me, but are they true? Let's get bustin'. This is Foam and Fuel. The first myth is that a glider can fly with no tail. Now, to keep this experiment accurate, we're going to use the same fuselage for every glider. This will help keep the results accurate. The gliders for this experiment will all have a fuselage length of 14 inches, with a wingspan of 14 inches as well. The rudder height will be 6 inches, and the elevator width will also be 6 inches. This will help standardize the measurements. This standard glider will have a wing chord of 4 inches. The nose also won't be squared off. The fuselage also won't be perfectly rectangular. The length will be 14 inches, but the fuselage height will be 2 inches. The last 6 inches of the fuselage will be tapered upwards until the half-inch mark. The nose of the fuselage will start tapering down 3 inches in. We'll conduct 3 tests for this glider. I'll put up the results on screen so you can see exactly how far it went. Then, we'll average those results to see how far this plane actually glided. Here's the stats from that flight. Let's go fly it again. That time the plane banked sharply to the left. Here's those stats. Now, let's fly it for the third and final time. Here are the results from that truly incredible flight, and here's the average. Now that we have a baseline for the glider, now we can test the myths. The myth that we're going to be testing first is that a glider can fly with no tail. So the first thing that we're going to do is take off the tail of this aircraft. We'll do 2 tests for this myth. First, we'll test it as is. Then, we'll balance it out so that the center of gravity stays 25% back from the leading edge and test it from there. This is the first test with the tailless glider. The glider traveled this far. Now, let's do round 2. This time, the glider went significantly farther at this distance. Now, let's do it for the third and final time, before we balance the plane. This time, the glider went this far, and when combined with all the average distances, here is the average distance flown with the unbalanced tailless glider. Let's go balance it. By adding this small screw to the tail, we can successfully balance out the aircraft. Here's how far it went that time. Now let's do it again. This time, the glider traveled this far. Now, let's fly it again for the third and final time. This time, the aircraft performed much more impressively. Here's how far it went that time, and here's the average. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a thumbs up and a comment. Stay tuned to next episode where we bust even more myths. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the sky.